Hey, it's Andre. It's time for the final Friday flying update of 2018. Wow, how did we get there? 2018 has been a very strange year. Unfortunately, some things happened to me on a personal level that sidelined a lot of my flying for the fall. I have a whack of jets that I just never got to. The whole after September kind of thing, just no flying. It just wasn't going to happen. But I'm glad to say that over the Christmas holidays, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's to everybody, I broke out the foam board. The Elmer's foam board, got a whack of glue sticks going, and just started cutting. What initially started out to be a Lancaster kind of morphed into a little bit of a B-24 Liberator, and that was more I glued the tail on and I didn't realize that the tail should have sat lower if it was a Lancaster, and and little things are still annoying to me, like I didn't quite get the nose right, but I decided that this airplane is ready to fly, and so it is basically a culmination of parts I had sitting in the bins. These are motors off a quad, the ESCs were they're off another quad that was just lying there in parts. And I said, you know what, let's try this out. 60-inch wingspan, about a 45-inch fuselage. I think V2 will kick out to a 50 because this could probably, the tail section could probably be a little bit longer. But I mean, it's a pretty hefty airplane. The turtle decking I had to kind of figure out and do some templating and stuff, but eventually I figured it all out, and it is a couple of sheets of foam. It's not as heavy as you think, and it's going to fly off a 3S 4000, which is actually in the nose now. The wings come off, 60-inch wingspan, and they're all wired in. There's a board, a power distribution board inside. XT60 on a cable runs through, 4 little 12-amp ESCs. These are 2100 kV motors. They're off an old E-Sheen quad. I'm running some 3-blade 5x40-inch props. The pitch and I could go to a 45. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to fly yet, and it's designed with a 4-inch wide fuselage that you can very easily chuck. I did try and do like a taxi differential test yesterday in the snow, and unfortunately the outer prop does strike the snow, and that unspun the prop on this side, so I have to be aware of that. If I keep flying it in the winter, if it's successful, maybe I'll put some booms or something like that, very much like the Sea Duck, just to keep the sides from dipping too much. But it's designed for landing in the snow, but a hand toss. So I'm excited. I mean, it's 6 servos, so fully functional rudder, tail, and split elevator setup. And it's the nose comes off. About the only aesthetically, the nose, I didn't get it right, but I just left it. It's a 4-inch by 5-inch kind of setup, and I tapered it out too soon, and so I just decided the rubber band holding system was going to be the best, most effective way to do it without getting in there and running skewers through the whole thing until I was satisfied. So the motors are pretty simple, spaced out. Could have been out a little further, I suppose, to give that depth and look, and could have done a cowl over top of it, but I've done enough of the prototyping that it's ready to fly, and it went rather well. It was satisfying and rewarding, which is something I haven't been able to say about the hobby for a good couple of months now. So I think with the way the costs are going and everything, you're probably going to be seeing me going back a little bit of my roots and doing a little bit more scratch building. I have enough parts. I've got the really nice 2204 motors, and I've got some DT750 motors, which I've shown on social media. And so I'm just going to be creating 4-motor bombers and twin bombers and just having some fun. My dad passed me his old Spitfire. I've got the FT Racer all decked out, and we're just going to have fun with that. Plus, these are good planes to fly during the winter. The jets and everything will come back in the spring, and they'll be ready to fly. I got to fly that A10. There's a bunch of them I just haven't done enough flying with. And, the wings and the planes that are ready for winter flying will happen. Like right now, freezing rain, snow, and just terrible winter conditions. So maybe Saturday, possibly Sunday, after the podcast, the RC After Hours Year in Review podcast, this thing will go up. You know, people ask me about the CG. It feels like it's pretty well on. The spar, I've got the battery as far forward as possible because there is a lot of tail weight. So I think V2, I'm going to try and make the fuse a little thinner, a little bit more sleek, and just, you know, it is got some mass behind it, but it's also, you know, pretty sturdy plane. I feel it's got a, you know, lot of lift off that wing. So I guess the only unknown is, will the power system be enough to make it fly? We're not going for, you know, super speeds or anything like this. We're going for a pretty gentle lady. So we threw around a couple names because it's kind of a blend between the Liberator and the Lancaster. So I think we said, was it Libre-Ann Caster, you know, just to play on words, but it's a bomber. It's an FT 4-motor bomber, but yeah, it's kind of fun just to start cutting away foam. So gotta hit to the dollar store and pick up more white foam and more Bristol board and just keep creating some kind of craziness. I want to try a whole whack of other projects, sorry, wire cutting with foam and everything from Home Depot or Lowe's. But for now, the foam board is great. I can work in my basement instead of in the freezing garage, and I have no room in the garage right now because it's being overrun by boxes and stuff. So yeah, look forward to more of this. Obviously the reviews, I got a whole bunch of jets to talk about and everything, and all those other planes, so wings and everything. So I'm getting back onto, you know, getting back into terms of doing what I love to do and finding that energy and everything and that drive again. So, but this is going to be a big part of 2019, I think, for me, just building and just having some fun and just freehand scratch building is just a wonderful experience when you can take an idea, a little scribbled idea, and transfer it in a couple hours to a functioning airplane. So there we go. I don't know, it almost sounds inspirational at points, right? So this weekend, Sunday, 9 Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing the RC After Hours Year in Review podcast. We're going to try and figure out what the plane of the year for 2018 is. We know last year it was the little UMX Timber, which rocked everybody's world. So I'm not sure what it's going to be for this year. No definitive forerunner for me. So stay tuned for that podcast. Again, I'm Andre. Thank you for subscribing throughout the year. Thank you for continuing to watch. I'm sorry I haven't been posting videos regularly, but we'll get back to that as the year moves into 2019. So have yourself a fantastic weekend. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Bye.